What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Let's Deck build. So today we are going with Saito, a Kenshin deck that I think doesn't get talked about enough. I know red is supposed to be the new big bad deck, and it is very strong, but I think this Saito deck is actually can keep up with that deck pretty well, and I think this is one of those decks that's gonna be in the meta for a while. Um, so yeah, we're gonna deck build it. If you guys want to see gameplay, feel free to subscribe, like, let me know what you guys want to see next. And yeah, this deck I'm making this video before the regional, so I want to see how good it performs at the regional, and I'm hoping that it performs well, like I think it will. Because from reading the cards and playing it a little bit, it seems like a very solid deck. So yeah, we're gonna just get started with deck building. Obviously, we have our Saito raid, our 6-drop, and our 4 drop, and the specials and finals. So those are obviously automatic. I'm gonna have them in there. So for this Saito, it says when this character attacks and wins a battle, it has impact and deal 1 damage. So yeah, if you have no cards with affinities on your field, it gains the abilities listed below, which will be 1,000 BP. And when it attacks from the energy line, you can move it to the front line, and this character gains snipe. So yeah, it's basically a 6-drop snipe impact card, which is really strong. And it also can it attacks from the back, from the sideline, so you can essentially attack 5 times that turn. So that's really nice. And then with the Saito other raid, it is it's just a searcher and nullify impact, which is very important, and it's also a searcher for consistency, which is yeah, very good as well. And then after that, like I said, we're gonna go through the deck building process, how I do it. I played this deck like once or twice, and I kind of have an idea of what I want to play, and but I haven't read everything, so we're gonna go through most of these cards. So one thing that these cards cannot have is a trait, because as you saw, the 6-drop needs characters with no traits on the field. So this Sanusoku Sagara, oh my gosh, these names. You may pay an AP, choose one site on your opponent's field, and sideline it. Doesn't seem like the greatest, so I'm gonna leave that one out for now. Makoto is an action 2. When using this card, you may place 1 or 10 Swords Affinity card from your hand to your sideline. If you do place character site to active, not bad. Place the top card of your deck into your sideline. Choose up to 1 character in front line. BP this card, place it on your sideline and sideline it. That's alright. It's an action 2. Not great, but it's okay. This card here, this Kenshin, I know I really like this card. So play this character set to active on your field. So it's an action 2, plays active, and it has another effect, which is reduce the AP cost of the next Hajime Saito card with 3 or less required energy. So you do have to save your Saitos for this play. So I find myself playing the Kenshins first as much as possible, and then setting up the this action 2 to play the Saitos from your hand for free. So this is a affinity card, so I'm not going to read that. I read most of these already, but if they have a trait, they just do not work with our deck. There's the special. This Saito is interesting. So you may draw a card, and if you do, this character will remain set to resting. Next time it would be switched to active. So this one I'm gonna put at 2 for now. I do like it. It's a name which you might need, but it's only a 4K, kind of like a vanilla. It is nice that like you can attack with it, draw a card, and then you use the color trigger of this deck to return it to hand, and then move the 6-drop Saito up. That's the combo, but if you're getting that far, you should already be in a very good position. And this Saito is, I think, one of the most important ones, which is it can move up a Kenshin, or a Saito, or even a Sanosuke, whatever however you say that. You can move it to another line. So this is very important for aggro. You can place this to set up your energy and then move a guy up, attack. But it also is very good against something that you would think would be a good against this deck, which is Toto, because Toto can change your energy, because you're trying to get to 6 energy, and Toto can screw that up. But this makes it so that you can move it to another line. So you could even move from the front to the back, or the front to the back, from the front to the back, or back to the front, which some decks cannot do. I don't think the Sao deck card does that. I think it just moves it from the back line to the front. But this one you can move anywhere, which is fantastic, and it's an active trigger. It's a name, so 1000% play that. This is another card that I found very interesting. It doesn't have a trait. It doesn't have a trigger. It says place the top card of your deck into your sideline. This character gains BP equal to that 500. So if you place the top card of your deck into the sideline, it's a 4 or higher. It'll be at 5k and have impact. So that's really nice to be able to move that up later in the game and have impact. So I'm gonna throw that in at 1 for now to see if we can fit it in. And I think it's a very interesting card. This is another Kenshin that's searchable. It has an active trigger. Essentially the same card as the Makoto, but the Makoto has impact, but this one has a trigger, and it's a Kenshin, so it works a little bit better with our deck. So I think that's a mandatory 3 of. Another card I read was this Ironclad Rengoku. So choose up to 1 Makoto card on your field. It gains when this character attacks and is not blocked. Draw a card. So you can combo that with this card here. But I don't think we're going to play both. We can play it as an engine, I guess, but I don't think we can fit that. It does have double energy. It's a sight. It adds a hand trigger. It has a draw 2 cards whenever you are in a bind. So I can see this card maybe, testing it and trying it maybe at 2 just to see if you can get off a life, get some plus off of that. But not 100% sure yet. So I'll throw it in at 1 just to see if we can fit it in. Color trigger. Color trigger is amazing. It's the 2-drop that becomes a 0 if you have no cards. So it's essentially a 0. When attacking, you can return a Kenshin or Sanuseku or another Hajime Saito on your front line to your hand. And then this character will gain 1500. So this being a 0-drop, and later in the game you can move it up, attack with something else, and then bounce it to your hand. And then this gets to be 4k. And then you move up your 6-drop. That's like everything you could want. Is amazing when it happens. It doesn't happen too often because you need a lot of moving pieces to work together. But if you can do all that, like dropping the this Hajime Saito, the 4000 4-drop, and then attacking with it, leaving it rested so you can draw a card, and then just attacking with this by bouncing this to make this 4k, and then moving the Saito. That's like the best combo you can possibly have. But that's a lot. You're asking for a lot there. Next is the Kenshin double energy generator. We have to play that because we need a lot of double energies. This guy is an affinity. I didn't even read this card. What is this? Oh, this is just a restand. Gotcha. Did I miss anything else? Nope. Another non-affinity card would be this Makoto, which is play 1 card from your hand. Place 1 card from your hand to the top of the deck. On play, it is a 4K 2-drop. Draw a card trigger. It is not bad. You lose a card, but a 4k body on a 2-drop is unheard of. So that's pretty powerful. So I would like to put that in if I can. It has a trigger, so I'm inclined to maybe fit that in if I can. The Yumi is a draw card. Place 1 card from your hand to your sideline. It doesn't have an affinity, but if you don't have the Makoto, this is kind of weak, because if you have a Makoto in the front line and this is sideline, then you get to switch something to resting on your opponent's field, which is really good as a 1-drop. But you don't play that many Makotos. I mean, you can like play this, and then you can play the 3-drop here, but that's a lot of commitment, and at that point you might be taking a lot of the Kenshins out, which is okay. It's just the triggers is kind of tough with no triggers with this one. This one's nice at least. We'll put it at 1 for now because it's not mandatory, but we'll see if we can fit that in. The Saito 1-drop is a searcher. Look at the top 3 and reveal Kenshin. See, this is why it works better because it can add a Kenshin or a Saito. But it can also add a Sanosuke, but we're not playing those. But it does not add this guy right here. So what is it called? The Makoto. So that's why it doesn't have as much synergy as the Kenshins, but they do seem pretty powerful. I'm not gonna lie. So there's a Sanosuke that we can play. Man, I don't want to pronounce these names. That we could play, but I don't like these cards personally. The return one, unless you need like 8 energy. But even then, I would not play that card. we have a Saito here, so that for sure there's an affinity. Another Kenshin. So this one says, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Place up to 1 purple card with no affinities among them into your sideline. Place the remaining on the top of your deck. So this is really nice because you get to look at the top 2, and you can place up to 1 of them in the sideline, and so you can draw the next card that you want. Or if they're both good, you just leave them both on top. So it gives you information, which is really nice. And it's a 0, which we need zeros. So we definitely play that. Another 0 that we could play is this EG. So he is nice because it's double energy when you might need it. And it's another 0 because essentially you're playing 8 zeros. Because I think that's all the only zeros we can play, yeah. Because these all have affinity, so we can't really play any other zeros. So it's just a question of, do we play this guy or do we play the 1-drop girl? So that's our 2 choices. But I think personally, I think the 1-drop, the 0-drop Kenshin is good. And this Saito is good as a 0. But this guy, I'm not sure if he makes the cut. But he's good. He's alright. So let's see, we're missing more cards. Nope. So alright, so as you can see, looks like we have 47 characters, 9 events and sites, so 56 cards. So we have to cut down 6 of these cards. I do like this engine of the what do they call it, Makotos and the Yumi, but I think it requires a little bit more testing, and I do want to test like maybe 4, 4, and 4 as my engine and cut down on the Kenshins. That'd be really cool to test. I don't think for like just a general like idea of this deck I'm gonna play those cards just yet, but that is something to think about, that you can make this as a splashable engine with 4 of these. So you have 8 Makotos, and then you have the 4 Yumis as your 1-drop instead of your 0 over here, because technically the 2-drop Saito doesn't count as a 0. It does count as a 0, but it doesn't bridge you from if you have 2 of them, like from 0 to 2, which is, so you have to take that into account. So you might need more 1s, you might need more 0s, or you can just high roll. Either one, up to you at that point. But like I said, I do want to test these guys, and I would want to test them at full power, like 4 and 4, and 4 of these. But that's gonna be for like something a little more spicy when I'm testing. For now, just a generic deck. We're just gonna take those out so we can try to get to 40, and that's gonna include this site right here. And this, you can also play this site with that other engine, and I think it'd be really cool to play that engine. I think it'd be really fun, and it might be good, but for now we're just gonna cut it and play with like the basic deck. So now we're at 51, so we just have to cut 1 card. This is the easiest cut, but I think it's might be mandatory to just play another 0 so you don't brick on not having any zeros, and this guy, like I said, doesn't bridge you from 0 to 2. So if you have 2 of these, that won't help you bridge to a 2-drop. If you have it in hand, like 2 of these and this, Kenshin would not unbrick you. But if you have this and this, or just this by itself, it can, double energy and help you out in a bind. Especially later in the game when you need a double energy, you can just sack this and give yourself a double energy. If you're playing against red Kenshin, leave your energy line open so you can move stuff back. It's pretty funny. So I'm going to keep this one at 1, and just to have an extra 0. And I'm going to actually put this Kenshin. Is the action 2? No. I think the action 2 Kenshin would probably be the one that I have to cut. Because it's really nice. I do like this card, but it's not always gonna happen where you have a Kenshin in hand. Playing active is so good, and it has an add to hand trigger. So for that reason, I think you can get away with playing with 3 because it'll be easier to get to your hand. So for that reason, I think we're gonna play 3 of those, and yeah, that's gonna do it. So we have 42 characters and 8 events. So yeah, 50. So it's a nice 50, very consistent. It's gonna do what it wants to do, pretty consistently and very fast with all these double energies you have here. You have 1, 2, 3, so you have at least 12, and I believe there might be at least 12 double energies. And then this guy right here, so 13. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. And then the searchers, it's gonna bring up your consistency. So yeah, I like this deck. I think it's gonna perform well, and that's gonna be my generic build. You guys can build off of that. And like I said, I do want to try that other build with the, what do they call Makoto cards. That seems really fun. The Makoto. Sorry. That seems really fun, and I'm definitely gonna build something, brew that up, and maybe test it and see if it's any good. But for now, this is the list, and we can work off of this. And yeah, I'll see you guys for the next one.